Hello, welcome to Trucking Answers. Let's take a look at the split sleeper berth rule with this high quality visual aid. Anyhow, people have been asking me about split sleeper. Got some questions in the comments. Let's talk about it, okay? The split sleeper has a couple of rules that you have to remember. Number one, the 8-hour sleeper stops your clock, your 14-hour clock, but 2 hours does not stop it, okay? 2 hours does not, and the 8 hours must be in the sleeper, but 2 hours doesn't have to be in the sleeper. It could be sleeper, off duty, or as they say, any combination thereof. Also, 2 hours is just a minimum. It can be 3 hours or 4 hours. So let's do some examples and see if anybody has any questions. Okay, first we'll start out easy. So you drive 6 hours, you go 8 hours in the sleeper. By the way, the sleeper berth time is also going to satisfy your 30-minute break, which you'd need here, right? But it doesn't matter because you already have a break. Okay, so now we can drive 5 hours. That's 11, correct? And then we take 2 hours off. Now, any time before the first sleeper is gone, so we count this time, and you can drive for 6 hours. And you can continue to do this as long as you have hours on your 70-hour clock. You can just continue to go 8 and 2, 8 and 2, it doesn't matter. Okay, there's no limit on like, you can only use it once and then you can't use it anymore. No. Now let's get to one that's a little more complicated and one where people kind of mess themselves up a little bit. So you come on duty for 2 hours, okay? And then you drive for 4 hours. And then you go in the sleeper for 2 hours. How long can you drive? Okay, well, we have 4 and 2 is 6. That's 8. Because that counts towards your 14-hour clock. You have 6 hours left on your 14 hours. So you can only drive 6 hours here. Okay? Because this satisfies your break. So this 6 hours, correct? You can't drive 7 hours. You only have 6 hours on your 14 hours left here. Then you have to take a break. Okay, 8-hour break we take because we're splitting. Now, no problem. Now everything before this time is gone. So we just have 6 driving hours. You come on duty for 2 hours and drive for 5 hours. And that's it, right? 6 and 5 is 11. 2 is 13. We satisfied all the requirements again, and you have to take at least 2 hours off to start the process again. Okay? All right, another example. Stick with me on these because even though you say, well, my electronic log should do that, it should. But you should also, if you've never done this and want to do it, you should maybe run a paper log just to try it out as you're doing it. And I'm not telling you to run 2 logs, okay? No. Just at least to look it over and see to make sure you understand, or at least look at the graph that it shows you so you understand it, because you need to know it over just having the computer do it. That's how people drive into rivers and everything else, okay, which we forever see on YouTube. Okay, so another example, right? 4 hours on duty. Somebody's on duty a lot, right? And then they drive 4 hours only, right? Because at 8 hours, we need a 30-minute break. So then, see, this is where people go wrong. They take 2 hours, which is fine. Which is fine. They take 2 hours, and then they're back on duty for 2 hours. How long can they drive here? Anyone? Bueller? Anyone? Okay, let's check. We have 8 here, 4 and 4. 2 is 10. 2 is 12. 2 hours. That's 14. That's our 14-hour clock because this does not stop your 14-hour clock. Only 8 hours stops your clock. So then we can take 8 hours in the sleeper. Okay? Now everything before this is gone because these 2 are 10. So now we only have these 2 on, no problem. So you come on for 2 hours. And how long can you drive? 2, 4, 6. No problem, right? 14 minus 6 is what? 8. 8 hours. Because the total of that is 14, but you can't drive 8 hours there, right? Because why? 30-minute break. Don't ever forget that. So how far can you really drive here? 6 hours. Because you need a 30-minute break. You could then take a 30-minute break, okay, and then drive, right, the rest of that time. And then, you know, you would need, well, you'd have 1.5 hours. You'd need, then you'd make another break. So always add your 30-minute break into it. Got it. Okay, whoa, holy mackerel, we're going crazy here. One more example, all right? Then we're gonna get out of here. Nobody likes watching me for that long. I appreciate you staying this long as it is. Okay, some people are on duty a lot and then they only drive a little bit. I don't know why that is. Okay, but here's 8 hours right here. Now we need a 30-minute break. So instead of that, you're gonna take a 2-minute break because you say, later I'm gonna split my sleeper. Okay, but then you just come on duty for 2 hours and drive for 2 hours. Can you do that? 6, 8, 10, 12, 14. Bingo. 14 hours. That all adds up. Always remember that this adds into your 14 hours. Then you take 8 hours off, and now you're ready to drive again for 6 hours. Or however long you want to drive. You go on duty for 2 hours, 2, 4, 6, 12, no problem. You would need a 30-minute break here, though. So if you could, right there, instead of taking 30 minutes, you could take 2 hours here and then restart your program again, right? By waiting an hour, 45 minutes, you get 4 hours back because you're now splitting the sleeper times. And remember, you can do this forever, 20 days straight. The only problem you'll have are 70-hour and 8-day. If you're working like this, if you have to split your sleeper, you'll probably end up running out of hours before you, before the 70 hours anyway. Okay, so thank you for watching. And if you have any questions, I am always available for questions in the comments. I'll do another one of these. I hope I explained it good to everybody so that they understand it. Try running it, on a piece of paper yourself so that you understand how it works. But always remember, to stop the clock, you need 8 hours, and it has to be in the sleeper. Anything less, because it can be 2 hours, it can be 4 hours counts towards it. It only has to be 10 hours minimum. But if it's less than 8 hours, it does not stop your 14-hour clock, and that's important. All right, thanks for watching. We'll be back soon with more trucking answers.